Another similarity that Python has with some other programming languages is that it provides a way for specifying function parameters using keywords. So, for example, you can define a function that takes positional arguments along with keyword arguments that take optional values like this one, where arg3 defaults to a specific value. And then, when you want to call the function, you can specify values by position or by keyword, right? So in this example, I'm passing in values for arg1 and arg2, but I'm specifically saying, hey, arg3 needs to be this value. In some cases, however, you may want to require that callers of your particular function specify arguments using keywords in order to provide better readability of the code. So, for example, let's suppose we have a function that performs a critical operation, and it provides an option to suppress exceptions. So one way to write the function definition would be to specify a regular argument and have it default to a certain value like you see here. The potential problem with this approach is that the function can be invoked just by passing a regular positional argument. Now, since this parameter has significant effect on how the program runs, it might be better to require that the parameter be specified by keyword. And that way, the programmer that's calling the function is aware of the significance of the parameter, and others who read the code can easily see and understand what's happening. So to accomplish this, in Python, you can separate your positional arguments with a single asterisk character followed by parameters that are keyword only, right? They have to be specified by keyword. So let's see how this works in the code. Let's open up key_arg_start, and let's define our function using some positional arguments, right? So I'll have arg1, arg2, and I'm going to put in my asterisk character, and then I'm going to have suppress exceptions equals false. So now let's try calling this function without using the keyword. I'm going to write 1, 2, and then true. Now you can see that I'm getting this red squiggly line here in my editor, right? Because it says too many positional arguments for the function. And in fact, if I try to run this, let's bring up the terminal. You can see that I'm getting an error. It says, my function takes 2 positional arguments, but 3 were given. I can't invoke this function now without explicitly using the keyword for the third parameter. So let's go ahead and fix that. So now I've supplied the keyword, and you can see that the red error disappears. Now I can run the program just fine, and there's no errors, okay? If you find yourself in a position where you really need to make sure that someone using a particular function clearly understands what they're doing, you can use keyword-only arguments to help ensure clarity in the code. And this is one of the great language features of Python that I really like because it exists mainly to improve the readability of code.